Hey guys, Jason Sharon here with Home Loans Inc. here to talk to you about the 2020 housing outlook. And we do a statistical approach so that way it's not just doom and gloom or roses and butterflies. We're going to really look at the numbers and what it's going to look like, what's causing it to cause the house market to do what it's doing. So a little about me, Jason Sharon, Home Loans Inc. I'm the owner of this mortgage brokerage. I was in the Navy for 20 years. I've been licensed since 2015, and I'm licensed in West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Alabama, in case you have any referrals for those states. And I'm a certified barbecue judge, a little fun thing about me. Production accomplishments, I've closed about 300 units for 100 million this year. I've written and published 3 books on mortgages. And I've been featured on Forbes, Yahoo Finance, Money.com, National Professional Mortgage Professionals, and Housing Wire. So how we got here? Basically, it's all about supply and demand. How many houses are there and how many people want to buy those houses? As you all know, as supply increases above demand, prices go down. If supply drops below demand, prices go up. So let's look at what happened 33 years ago. Birth rates jumped significantly. The millennial had a birth boom. And now 33 years later, we're seeing that effects on the housing market. The definition of a new household formation is the median is about a 33-year-old that wants to get married and have kids, wants to move out from the parents' house, finish college, that type of stuff. So birth rate matters. So this is the birth rates of each year per generation. I was born here. If you look at 33-year-olds today, we're looking at this here, and you see that birth rate is actually higher the following years. So it's not going to get better. We're going to need more houses next year than we did this year, and year after that, year after that. And you see it kind of comes down, but it's still higher than what it's been historically for the next generation. We need more houses. So let's talk immigration. And I'm talking about just legal immigration. This right here is from the U.S. Immigration and Customs website. And you see that we have about a million immigrants, legal immigrants per year come to the United States. So that's on top. So we need more houses for all those. And not to mention how many illegals are coming across the border right now. Can't count that, but it's not a lot. I mean, it's a lot. And yeah, they're not buying houses, but they need a place to rent. They need some place to sleep. So let's look at inventory. So this is the number of houses that were on the market per year all the way back from the 90s. So if you look at the housing bubble, there's a huge jump in the number of houses that were on the market. It got all the way up to 3.7 million. Today, there's 1.2 million houses on the market for sale, but there's 12 million more households today than there were back then. So you can see why there's such a shift in the demand versus supply curve, because we don't have any inventory and we've got a lot more people that need a place to live. Now let's look at new housing starts. So this is the number of houses that are being built per year by builders. And you see we had a huge number here, and it came down, and then the housing bubble hit, and we're building, well, right afterwards, we're building about 500,000 to 600,000 per year. Now remember, we've got 1 million in immigrants coming each year. So even the immigrants, this wasn't enough even for the immigrants, not to mention the growth in the American population. So you see, up till we get to this point, we were barely breaking 1 million houses per year, but we've got 2 million people that need a house, 2 million new household formations. So for a decade or more, decade and a half, we haven't built enough houses. Even now, let's say in 2020, build 1.6, 1.7 million, that's still 500,000 houses or more short of where we need to be. So Dr. Emrath from the National Home Builders Association published this study in 2018. I'm just going to highlight a little bit of it. It's an amazing study. He stated back in 2018 that we need to be building 2.3 million homes a year through 2050 in order to meet housing demand. That's 45 years of 2.3 million houses built per year. And we've never built 2.3 million houses per year. So we need 45 years of record builds just to meet what we need as a country. So let's put it together on one graph here. So if you look at this, blue is household growth, new household formations, and orange is annual completions of new households. So during the housing bubble, you see household growth was coming down and we were building the heck out of houses, and that caused the housing bubble, a significant contribution to the housing bubble. But then after that, we have not built enough houses. You see 2019, 2020, all the way to 17, we've got more, significantly more household growth than we have new houses. It's just we've not built enough houses. And this lays it out perfectly to show that we're not in a housing bubble. Now, I get asked all the time, well, what about all the houses in forbearance? Sure, let's analyze that. About 5 million houses went into forbearance during COVID. That's only 3.5% of all homes in America, so a very small percentage. It's still a large number of homes, a large number of people were affected, but overall, it's a very small number when you compare it to what was going on during the housing bubble. Now, 3.6 million of those forbearances have ended, and the people have come out of forbearance and maintain their house. 72% of people have come out of forbearance. Of those 3.6 million that came out, only 23,000 went into foreclosure or short sale. Only 23,000. That's a significantly small number, 0.65%. The reason why is because there's so much equity in homes now that you, even if you have to sell the house because you just can't afford it, you've got enough equity there to where it's not going to be a distress sale. So let's say you dumped all 1.4 million of the houses that are still in forbearance on the market. It would take 6 months to 12 months for those to get bought up. It would happen quickly. So all 1.4 million of those families would need a place to rent anyway. So people are just going to buy it, turn them into rentals. So statistically, if probably about 9,100 of the remaining houses in forbearance will go into foreclosure. 9,100. That's nothing whatsoever. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but statistically, it's a very, very small number. So let's talk about other ways that houses are lost. So there are about 140 million homes in America today. And based on research, about 1,000 homes a year are lost from some type of natural disaster. Forest fires in California, flooding in Louisiana, hurricanes on the East Coast, tornadoes in the Midwest. About 100,000 houses are lost. And then also houses just age and are no longer able to be used. The Census Bureau estimates about one home every 1,000 are lost per year. So that's 140,000 homes per year that's that are just old and need to be replaced. So that's about 250,000 homes a year that need to be replaced on top of the demand for new houses. So the conclusion, we're going to see a hot housing market for several years to come. It's just not going to go away unless we all of a sudden start building a tremendous amount of houses. Comparing population growth, immigration, both illegal and illegal, versus a low build rate, house loss, natural disaster, it's going to be many years before we can catch up. Are we going to see 20% appreciation again? Of course not. That's just unsustainable. But 10% sure does look feasible, though, doesn't it? So why not leverage the bank's money at 4% on investment properties to gain 10% growth in equity plus your rental income? It's a no-brainer. So states I'm licensed in: West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. My contact information is here, jason@homeloansinc.com. 843-LOW-RATE is my phone number. Hope this helped. Hope this educate. Give me a call if you get any questions. Thanks. Bye.